welcome the members of the Augsburg College Athletic Hall of Fame, the 2012 Athletic Hall of Fame inductees, and the Coaching Excellence Award winners. And we have a special version of this for you to honor you tonight. And there's just a fighting chance that some people might want to join in on this. So let's see what we can do here. Let us now honor Meg Schmidt, lawyer, Tim Tuzenant and Johnny, Jack Grings, Jenny Coyle and Richter, Kurt Habeck and Alan B., along with coaches Larry Hoff, Tim Tyson, use God's gifts in many ways. So tonight we thank and honor each of them and also lift God's name in praise. Each one has made us very proud as Hoggies, A-U-G-G-I-E-S. They have inspired us with their ways of living and have passed some real tough tests. Each day they show amazing Augie spirit as they strive to do their best. Spell it A-U-G-G-I-E-S, no finer school from east to west. Tonight we all are grateful to be Hoggies as we sing to the Most High, and we lift our Augie spirit Augie's thankful till we die, and in the glow of this great Hall of Fame night, no one can e'er deny that God's word is true, and we're a grateful crew, so let us raise our voices high.
Sir Jeff Swenson.
Welcome to the 40th Annual Augsburg College Athletic Hall of Fame Banquet. Thank you for joining us on this very special occasion. Congratulations to all of this year's Hall of Fame inductees. We are proud to be honoring you this evening. We have had a big week already. We had a pep fest on Monday night with our great fireworks display kicking off our homecoming week. On Monday, our women's soccer team beat University of Wisconsin River Falls 1-0. Last night, our men's soccer team won their game at St. John's, and our women's soccer team kicked off homecoming week at home with a double overtime win against St. Ben's. All right, go Augies. Tonight's event acts as an official alumni kickoff to homecoming weekend. It's an exciting week for the college and for our athletic department. Currently, our fall teams have a record of 26-13-1, and all of our fall team sports have winning records. It's an exciting time to be at Augsburg and to be an Augie, and there's a high level of energy and excitement on campus. Our athletic department has been one of continual improvement. Augsburg has shown the most improvement of any MIAC school in the last 4 years in the MIAC's all sports trophy standings. And I'm very proud to say that we've done this while achieving a cumulative grade point average of 3.2. Please let's join me in having a round of applause for these student athletes. It's my pleasure to acknowledge a few groups in attendance tonight. We have several former Augsburg coaches in attendance tonight, and I would like to acknowledge you all as a group. Will all former Augsburg head and assistant coaches please stand at this time? We have several Augsburg coaches in attendance tonight, and I would like to acknowledge you as a group as well. Will all current head and assistant coaches and also all members of our athletic department staff please stand? It is now my privilege to introduce the distinguished members of Augsburg's Athletic Hall of Fame who are in attendance tonight. Would all former Hall of Famers please stand as a group and be recognized, if able? Thank you. Fitting that you're right there, G-Roy. You are an inspiration to us all of you, and thank you. Of note, we will be honoring one of Augsburg's Hall of Famers that just stood up during homecoming weekend tomorrow morning. Dick Thompson will be receiving the Spirit of Augsburg Award, which is awarded to alumni and friends of the college who have given exceptional service that contributes substantially to the well-being of Augsburg by furthering its purposes and programs. Dick Thompson, would you please stand and be recognized? It is now my pleasure to introduce our president, Dr. Paul Pribenow. Paul is an active supporter of athletics and truly believes that athletics is an essential part of the quality education here at Augsburg. Ladies and gentlemen, President Paul Pribenow.
Good evening. It's a great privilege to be with you on this very special night as we launch our alumni activities for Homecoming 2012. It's always just wonderful to be here with all of you and to celebrate this grand tradition of intercollegiate athletics at Augsburg College, which is such an important part of our life. I want to follow up on something that Jeff mentioned in his remarks about something that, for me, that makes me most proud of this program that we have here, this important program in intercollegiate athletics here at Augsburg. I had a chance the other day, I was talking with Mark Matzik, our wrestling coach, class of 2005. And Mark was talking a little bit about his one-on-one meetings with the members of the wrestling team for this year. And many of you know last year that wrestling team came in second in the country in the national championships. But alongside of that, they were also named the team with the highest academic average of all the teams in America. And so they came back with the second place in the championships, but with the top honor in academic honors. And it strikes me that this is a wonderful thing for Augsburg to lift up this NCAA Division III ideal of the student athlete. And one of the things that Mark told me in our conversations last week was that as he's been meeting with members of the team this year, one of the things they're saying to him over and over again is, we want to win that award again. And it's that aspiration to be excellent in the classroom as well as excellent on the courts or on the mats or in the fields that really makes me most proud of this tradition. I think about this when you look at some of the results of just this past year. It's recently announced that a total of 24 Augsburg College student athletes earned academic all-MIAC conference honors from winter and spring sports. Combined with 23 honorees from last fall's sports, a total of 46 Augsburg student athletes earned academic all-MIAC honors in the 2011-12 school year. So it just shows you the ways in which our coaches are actively involved in helping to make sure that their student athletes are successful, not only in their athletic prowess and activities, but also in the classroom. In exchange for that, and as part of the experience that we offer here, it's something that this college is taking very seriously as we think about how we support all of our students to help them be successful. A couple things that I want to lift up for you tonight that we're very proud of. One is that just over the last couple, 3 months, Augsburg has received more than $2 million in support from various government agencies in support of our students and our science programs in particular, support for our physics research programs, support for our undergraduate research programs, support for some of the work that's going on in our science labs, just a recognition of the excellent quality of our faculty and staff and students in the sciences. I also want to tell you about the creation, the opening this past January of the Gage Center for Student Success, which is now located on the second floor of the Lindell Library here just across the street. Here's a place where we brought together all of our academic support services in this very central location so that all of our students have access to the support that they need to be successful. Tomorrow afternoon, just after lunch, we will dedicate a brand new space in the Christensen Center just inside the front door, the Claire and Gladys Strawman Center for Meaningful Work. A place where we're bringing together all of our career and internship services so that all of our students have the support they need to be equipped as they go out, whether it's go on to work or go on to graduate school or whatever the case might be. And I think about all of these investments that have been made through the generosity of the Gage family, the Carlson family, the Strawman family, because they believe deeply that any student who comes to this college should be given the support that he or she needs to be successful. I couldn't be more proud of what these represent for us and the ways in which they support all of our students and especially our student athletes. We're also very proud of our capital project that is our highest priority at the moment, and that is a new building that we intend to build here just down the street here on 7th Street, where we're going to create the Center for Science, Business, and Religion. We are working on a capital campaign to build this building, and we have a deadline of a benchmark date of spring 2014 to get a shovel in the ground for that building. And we've raised $12 million already, the most money that's ever been raised for a capital project here at Augsburg. And I want to lift up a man who's helping to lead that effort, Mike Good, who's over here. He's a Hall of Famer. Here he is right here. And Mike is the new national chairman of that campaign and is leading this effort, again, to help all of our students to have the facilities that they need to be successful. So just some of the ways in which we, as a college, are trying to honor excellence in all of our academic programs, in our intercollegiate athletic programs, and everything that we do as a college. And now on to our awards. This year, a new category has been added to the Athletic Hall of Fame induction ceremony, the Coaching Excellence Award. This award will be bestowed to 2 alumni this evening in honor of their excellent success, leadership, and commitment to the positive development of your student athletes and teams. Now my pleasure to introduce the 2012 Coaching Excellence Award winners.
Larry Hoff, class of '66. A 4-year letter winner as a member of the Augsburg football team. Larry earned distinction as one of the top high school football coaches in the state of Wisconsin during an 18-year tenure as the head coach at Superior High School. Larry arrived at Augsburg after a distinguished high school athletic career at Osseo High School, where he was an all-conference honoree in football, basketball, and baseball, and earned a school record 11 varsity letters. After a 4-year career as a member of the Augsburg football team, Larry was named as the head football coach at Superior prior to the start of the 1971 season. Playing an independent schedule for all but 2 years, Larry quickly turned a struggling program into one that gained respect throughout the state of Wisconsin. As an independent, the Spartans took pride in playing a challenging and demanding schedule that included games against top teams in Minnesota, North Dakota, and Wisconsin. Under Hoff's direction, the Spartans earned 2 conference championship titles and advanced to the section final 3 times, while recording an overall record of 112-52. A Wisconsin District 1 Coach of the Year selection in 1976, Larry was inducted into the Wisconsin Football Coaches Association Hall of Fame in 2002. A health and physical education major at Augsburg, Larry served as a physical education teacher and administrator for 33 years in the Wisconsin public education system. Since his retirement, Larry has successfully embarked on numerous hiking, biking, and canoe trips across the United States. In 2004, he biked over 10,000 miles alone, including a trip around the United States perimeter to help raise funds to build a $2.5 million athletic complex for the city of Superior. In 2006 and 2007, Larry paddled and portaged 6,200 miles in a canoe across the United States from Washington, D.C. to Astoria, Oregon. Larry and his wife Luann have 3 grown children, Dean, Eric, and Heidi, and 5 grandchildren, and live in Superior, Wisconsin.
Ladies and gentlemen, please help me recognize Larry Hoff, class of 1966, the recipient of the 2012 Coaching Excellence Award. Unfortunately, Larry is unable to be with us this evening, so accepting on his behalf is Bruce Nelson. Bruce?
Thank you. It's a great day to be in Augie. I've been asked to accept this award on Larry's behalf. Since he is unable to be here this evening, Larry is a fine example of what we stand for here at Augsburg. Individuals who use their great talents to serve their families, their communities, and the world. We celebrate Larry's accomplishments not only as a teacher, coach, and administrator, but as a leader in raising money and awareness of many causes through his numerous outdoor adventures. I accept this award on his behalf and congratulate him on his lifetime of service. Thank you.
Tim Tyson, class of 93. A 3-year letter winner and team captain as a member of the Augsburg men's basketball program. Tim is widely considered one of the top high school boys basketball coaches in the state of Minnesota as the head coach of Osseo High School. During his playing career at Augsburg, Tim was named as the team's defensive MVP twice and recorded 2 triple-doubles during his senior season. After graduating from Augsburg with a degree in social studies and elementary education in 1993, Tim has been a teacher and a coach in the Osseo School District for the past 18 years. In 2003, Tim was named as the head boys basketball and golf coach at Osseo. During his 10 years as head coach at Osseo, Tim has compiled an overall record of 232 wins and 61 losses, and has led the Orioles to 7 conference championships, 4 section championships, 2 state runner-up finishes, and 1 state championship. In 2012, Tim led the Orioles to a 30-2 overall record and a Class 4A state championship title, the second state championship title in school history. Following the 2012 state tournament, Tim was named as the Minnesota High School Coaches Association Coach of the Year. A social studies teacher at Osseo High School, Tim and his wife Kristen have 2 sons, Zach and Alex, and reside in Maple Grove, Minnesota.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Tim Tyson, class of 1993, recipient of the 2012 Coaching Excellence Award.
First of all, I'd like to thank the Augsburg College Hall of Fame Selection Committee. I'm truly honored and humbled to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, and I also want to congratulate the other inductees on their selection as well. But I got to be honest with you tonight. I'm pretty glad that the Hall of Fame has decided to put in a new category, coaching excellence. Because if I had to talk about my athletic career here at Augsburg, you guys would probably fall asleep. I was far from being the best player on Augsburg College's basketball team, but my dedication to the game, the passion that I had for it, my desire to compete made me an important part within the Augsburg basketball program. And the coaches, whether it was basketball, wrestling, football, hockey, all coaches made sure that all people and all players were accepted. Now, during my time at Augsburg, I had many opportunities to be around great coaches who directly and indirectly impacted me. You see, a coach has that ability to use athletics to not just teach athletes about a sport, but teach them about life. It's about teaching players how to win with grace, and if a loss does come, to lose with dignity. Not everything in life or in sports comes easy, but athletics can teach that individual how to handle those successes and disappointments if it comes in life. A coach also has that ability to not only encourage an athlete when down, but to motivate an athlete, and also to inspire an athlete to set goals and try to reach beyond their potential. As you can see, there are so many ways that a coach can be an impact upon a student's life. And I've truly felt that I've been blessed, both at the high school level and at the college level, to receive some great coaching. People sometimes, though, only define coaches through maybe wins and losses, conference championships, section championships, and maybe a state title. I've been pretty fortunate in my 10 years as a head coach to experience all of those. But if you ask any coach, it's not always about the wins and losses that makes somebody successful. Coaches often determine their success by the times we impact kids outside of the court. It might not be an immediate success, but it might be a success 3 months down the road after a season when you're at a kid's graduation party and they come back up to you and say, you know what, I really appreciate everything that you've done for me. It might be years down the road when a former player will come up and talk about their successes, both as an individual and in life, and how important it was to be a part of a program where you felt wanted. Or maybe today of a big game and you check your phone and you look at your email and you get a text message from a former player. Good luck, coach. We're with you. You see, to me, those are the little successes that I think when you add them up, achieve a tremendous amount of pride. And those are the things that are much more important to me than the wins and losses or to all those section, conference, and state championships. I believe that through my time here at Augsburg, through my education and athletics, it helped me to install that commitment to others that was once given to me. There's a lot of people to thank. First and foremost, Coach Amon and the rest of the basketball coaching staff who recruited me here to Augsburg. The memories are still vivid with the time playing here almost 20 years ago. To current coach, Coach Grease, assistant coach, Coach Kershaw, you guys have done an outstanding job of turning around a basketball program. The commitment that you guys have to bring back the alumni, to bring back the pride, is something that will be a lasting legacy for you. Coach Grease, you guys have been gracious to my high school team as I bring them back during the state tournament to get a practice in. And it's always great personally from a coach to show your high school kids the place where you went to school. And now I don't have to, when the kids come up to me and talk to me and they look at all the Hall of Fame photos, and they always ask that question, hey coach, where's your photo? I don't have to come back with a smart mouth reply. I can say I'm with that 2012 induction class. I also want to say special thanks to my parents, Les and Lorraine. Thank you for being that positive influence in my life. To my mother and father-in-law, Mike and Barb, fellow Augsburg grads themselves, thank you for your support as well. And also for sending your daughter to college, Augsburg College here. And that's where I met my wife, Kristen. Thank you for being that support in my life through all the times with coaching. It's not always easy being a coach's wife. There's a lot of time, there's a lot of commitment, There's a lot of other kids that you have to take care of, and I appreciate the support that you always have been giving me. To my two sons, Zach and Alex, you know what? May you two continue to pursue your dreams as you go along in life. And Kristen and I, your mom and I, can't wait to see where that takes us. Thank you very much.
And now it's my pleasure to introduce the 2012 Augsburg Athletic Hall of Fame inductees. These alumni are being recognized for their outstanding athletic achievements, leadership, character, and commitment to Augsburg College.
Alan Berg, class of 68. A two-sport letter winner during his collegiate career, Berg was a member of the Augsburg football and basketball teams. On the gridiron, Berg was a four-year starter for the Augies at tight end, where he caught 134 passes for 1,423 yards and 6 touchdowns in his career. He was on the school's top 5 record list in receptions and yardage until the 1990s. On the basketball court, Berg was a 2-year starter for the Augies as a forward. During his basketball career, the Augies captured the 1964-65 MIAC Conference Championship and advanced to the NAIA National Tournament. Following his playing career at Augsburg, Berg was drafted into the Canadian Football League, where a shoulder injury eventually ended his playing career. After his professional playing career ended, Berg later earned a doctorate degree in clinical psychology from Georgia and his JD from Southern Illinois. Berg has spent the better time of his professional life teaching and working for colleges and universities all over the world, including Africa, the Middle East, and Central Asia. He is currently serving as Vice President and Director of the Maryland University College, Europe. Berg is remembered as a hard worker and good leader by his teammates. A native of Austin, Minnesota, Berg currently resides in Heidelberg, Germany.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Alan Berg, class of 1968, inductee into the 2012 Augsburg Athletic Hall of Fame.
Thank you, Dr. Pribideau, for that nice introduction. Hadn't ever seen most of those pictures. I looked pretty good back then, I thought. I want to thank Augsburg College, its Alumni Association, and the A Club for bestowing this special honor on me. G. Roy Carlson was the leader of the A Club in my days, and what a wonderful supporter he was. He was the one who came to Austin during my senior year in high school and who took my dad and I out for a cup of coffee to talk about me coming to Augsburg to play basketball. John Fahlberg, my quarterback and an Augsburg Hall of Fame member, is here tonight, and I know he played a role in my being selected too for this special honor, and I thank you, John. You should know that over the past several months, John and I have been exchanging emails about this issue. And regularly, he would end his message to me, his email message to me, with something like, "What's your route for a Pro 4 right 58 look-in X out?" And, I'm trying to remember what my jersey number was in college, and he remembers the playbook. So I guess it's the difference between a lineman and a quarterback. I want to publicly thank my family who's here tonight for the support they gave my sports career over the years in so many ways. Lori, Gary, and Shelley have meant so much to me in my career. It's ironic that I should get the chance to play organized sports while my brothers and sisters didn't get a chance, despite them being so much more athletically gifted than me. I wish our parents could be here this evening. I think they saw every one of my college, in fact, I know they did. They saw every one of my college games in the 4 years I was here, and they would have been very proud of this night. It's wonderful that my aunt and uncle can be here to share this with me. There were exciting times and humbling times in my years playing at Augsburg. During my freshman year, I got to play on the sham defensive team for the Wheaties All-American basketball team that was filmed here that year in Bloomington High School. Dan Anderson would remember that. I know he was on that defensive team. And I got to guard Bill Bradley from Princeton, who was eventually Senator Bill Bradley. I had a good freshman year on the football team, and after the season, one evening I was sitting in my dorm room up here in Memorial Hall, which is still here, and somebody knocked on my door and said, "Hey, you've got a telephone call, and it's Sid Hartman, as you know, the sports columnist." And so I rushed down the hall, and he wanted to talk to me about this and that, and he asked me questions about my season and what it was like playing in high school and going to college and my predictions about how the next year was going to go. And I was pretty nervous about it, but I thought I did a pretty good job handling his questions until he broke out laughing, saying that he really wasn't Sid Hartman, he was Steve Strumman, our senior high school guard. I think Dan Anderson remembers that. So when I was first notified about my selection as a Hall of Fame inductee, I was wondering whether it just might be Steve Strumman again. Most of my memories of playing at Augsburg are playing football, and most of those memories are playing football my freshman year. While I remember wins and losses and catches and drops, well, I don't actually remember any drops, but mostly I remember fellow players and coaches. And of all the characters in my sports life back here at that time at Augsburg, I have to say in terms of memories that at the top of my list is Coach Idor Nelson. That icon of Augsburg sports, especially football, and for me, the master of the mysterious message. During my summer camp in my freshman year, I remember Idor coming up to me and out in the practice field, and I don't exactly remember the situation, but he casually reached up and grabbed my face mask and pulled my face down to him, and he said, "Bergie, you've got to make a plan, and then you've got to carry out that plan." And then he walked away. I was like, what the heck was that all about? Well, and I'm still puzzled by it. But I've been making plans my whole life, and I've been carrying them out, and by God, it worked, I think. Augsburg College has provided me with an outstanding education, and my appreciation for it has only increased after having administered overseas university programs for Maryland for many years. In addition, I was able to play sports with some very special guys, outstanding athletes and teams, and I'm truly thankful for that opportunity. Thank you very, very much for this special honor.
John Evans, class of 1982. John played 4 seasons of men's hockey at Augsburg as a forward on 4 MIAC championship teams, in addition to winning NAIA national championships in 1981 and 82. In 116 career games at Augsburg, John was a part of Augie teams that totaled a 4-year record of 95, 19, and 2. As one of the top goal scorers during his career, John earned honorable mention All-MIAC honors during his junior and senior seasons. Following his playing career at Augsburg, John signed a pro hockey contract in Norway, where his team won the Norwegian League Series and National Championship. After his professional hockey career ended, John spent 25 years working with IBM and Wells Fargo in government relations. In 2010, he was appointed by Governor Mark Dayton to the Minnesota Amateur Sports Commission, where he works to promote the economic and social benefits of sports throughout the state. John continues to be active in hockey and travels to Norway every year to work in hockey schools. He has helped sign numerous Minnesota hockey players to professional contracts in various European countries, including Norway, Sweden, and Germany. A political science major and a communications minor, John was named to the Dean's List during his academic career. John and his wife Joan, a 1983 Augsburg grad, have 3 children, Christian, Anna, and Eric, and live in Golden Valley, Minnesota.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome John Evans, class of 1982, inductee into the 2012 Augsburg Athletic Hall of Fame.
I have a number of thank yous. First, let me thank the Augsburg Admissions Office, who, after thoroughly reviewing my application, still accepted it. I want to thank my wife, Joan, my kids, Christian, Anna, and Eric, my mother, Alice, and other family members that are here to share this evening. I also want to thank my friends who are attending tonight, including State Senator Carrie Dietzick, who now represents Augsburg and the surrounding community. And finally, I want to thank the athletic department, the nominating committee, AD Jeff Swenson, and hockey coach Chris Brown for this recognition. The 4 years I spent playing hockey at Augsburg were nothing short of being incredible. We had great players, and I'm proud of the accomplishments of our team. 2 national titles, 4 MIC titles, and 70 MIC league games. We only lost 5 games in 4 years. We had a 4-year record of 95, 19, and 2, including going 28, 1-1 our senior year. It was a remarkable experience that I was lucky to be a part of. I could tell hockey stories all night, but I'll only share one. It was at the end of the second period of the 1982 championship game. We were ahead. We had 1 player in the penalty box, and I took a really, really dumb penalty, meaning now we're 2 players short. While in the penalty box, our opponent scored 2 goals in the closing minutes of that second period. As I returned to the bench, Coach Saugestead yelled at me, as only Ed could, "Evie, that was a selfish penalty. You're going to take that to your grave." I was mad and wanted to make things right, and luckily I did. I got an assist on the game-winning goal and scored the insurance goal with 3 minutes left in the third period. Now feeling emboldened, knowing that my college career was over in 3 minutes, I came to the bench and dared chirp to Ed, "Ed, I'll be taking that goal to my grave instead." I looked at Ed for his reaction, and he just smiled, knowing that his motivation had worked. The greatest memories, of course, are those of my teammates. Back in the day, most of the hockey players lived in large houses spread out throughout campus. I lived in row house with 8 other hockey players. I remember row house. We had only 2 bathrooms, 2 padlocked refrigerators, a cat named Macho, and no vacuum cleaner. Not a pretty sight, but it was our home. At Row, we shared the ups and downs of the hockey season, and at times the challenges, academic challenges of being a student athlete. We seemed to manage the stress, though, with an active social life. One of my housemates who is here tonight, Jim Finch, will attest that any woman who willingly set foot into that house was highly unlikely to marry any of us. Well, one did, and she is here tonight, my wife. We were married in this very chapel over 20 years ago. When I look back at Augsburg, I realize how much help I had from amazing people who make Augsburg the special place it is. Dr. Melda Hedblum, the political science professor, who taught me how to be a critical thinker, analyzing all sides of an issue. Dr. Gary Hesser, urban studies professor, who taught me and nurtured me in the interest of city planning and politics. Don Warren, academic studies director, who taught me how to structure my time and study skills to achieve my academic goals. And of course, hockey coach Ed Saugestad, who taught me discipline, how to work in a team environment, and how to win. What all these wonderful people have in common is they helped me to believe in myself. They helped me believe I could achieve more than I ever thought possible. They enabled me to have the courage to stretch myself and to see a short-term failure as merely a step in the process of getting it right and not an excuse to quit. These wonderful people of Augsburg College impacted my life in ways I still benefit today. For that, I'm so thankful. I will continue to be truly honored to be a part of the Augsburg family and now a part of the Hall of Fame. Thank you.
Jack Rings, class of 1988. One of the top offensive third basemen in Augsburg baseball history. Jack was an All-MIAC honoree during his senior season and was a member of the 1988 MIAC championship team. A 4-year letter winner of the Augsburg baseball program, Jack currently ranks 7th in school history with 144 games played. In 1987, he earned all MIAC honors after hitting .429 with 9 doubles, 5 triples, 7 home runs, and 54 RBIs. In his senior season, Jack hit .343 with 5 doubles, 2 triples, while scoring 34 runs and recording 17 stolen bases. The single season leader in stolen bases, runs scored, and hits, Jack currently ranks 1st in school history with 60 stolen bases, 2nd in runs scored with 134, 3rd in career hits with 168, and 4th in RBIs with 99. A 1988 Augsburg graduate with a health and physical education major, Jack currently works as a national trainer for new restaurant openings, where he has worked with several high-end restaurant groups during his career. The son of Mary Grange, Jack has 3 sisters, Beth Combs, Jen Schallenberg, and Sandy Peters, and currently resides in St. Paul, Minnesota.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jack Grings, class of 1988, inductee into 2012 Augsburg Athletic Hall of Fame.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. I, too, would like to recognize my family, my wife, Bridget, who has turned this into a 4-day party at the house, if anybody wants to come over. My mom is here tonight, my sisters, my in-laws, the Sullivans are here, and my grandaunt Kelly, 88 years young, all the way from Palm Desert to see little Jack. I, too, what a great theme tonight. I, too, want to talk about some coaching. First, my mom, never missed a game. She came from a small town, Delano, Minnesota. Baseball family. Her father, Perry, her brothers, Rich, Paul, Tom, they were baseball in Delano. They taught country hardball, doubles, not home runs, singles, hit and runs, squeeze plays, collision at the plate. If my jersey wasn't dirty, I wasn't going to play the second game. I guarantee you that. I'd like to thank Ken Wenzel, who's here tonight. He coached us all the way through Little League. It's an honor. Took me in as his own kid. We went all the way from Little League to 16-year-old state champions, Mickey Mantle. But he taught us to respect the game, how to wear a uniform, how to put your hat on straight. I remember he had one major rule. He always said, hustle, hustle, hustle. I said, Skipper, that's 3 rules. So I had to stay after practice and work on my hustling that day. Sam Rockwood, Legion, God bless his soul. He took country hardball to a new level with his legendary 5-hour practices. 3 line drives to left, 3 to center, 3 to right before we could go home. Took forever. So I thought I'd shoot my mouth off again. I said, Sam, how'd you ever find a wife that likes baseball so much? We've been out here all day. Don't you want to go home and relax? He said, Jack, I didn't find a wife that likes baseball. I found a wife that likes hot dogs. I had to stay after practice and do some more hustling that day.
Coach Denny DeVerks in Kellogg High School took a state tournament in '83. Most intelligent man I've ever met. I knew better to mess with him. And finally, by the time I got to Augsburg here with Coach Petrich, I decided to turn my attention to the umpires. Umpires don't make you run laps, they make you take a long shower. It was a no-brainer. But Coach Petrich had his hands full with us. Golden Valley had just closed down. We inherited some great ball players, characters, and I mean characters. Sorry, Coach. The only thing we liked more than baseball was pretty girls. But you brought us to a championship level, and you brought your passion for us and your leadership. And we took on the mighty foes across in the purple. We even beat the U. We would have beat them twice, except for I took a ground ball and threw it about 30 rows into the bleachers that day. But I'd like to thank you, Coach, for bringing us together. You were Coach of the Year that year. I don't remember hearing anything about Chaperone of the Year. I'd like to thank Augsburg. G-Roy's been here since I was here in 1984. I could go into his office anytime I wanted to and shoot my mouth off with no penalty, and he would tell me and set me straight. I'd like to thank you all for having me tonight. God bless you all. Thanks to everybody else that was here tonight. Good night.
Kurt Habeck, class of 1991. One of the top middleweight wrestlers at Augsburg during his 4-year career, Kurt earned All-American honors and was a member of Augsburg's first NCAA Division III Wrestling National Championship team in 1991. In national competition, he finished 7th at 167 pounds in 1991 while posting a 48-1 season record en route to the Augies' first team national title. He also won 2 MIAC individual titles in 1990 and 91 and earned NWCA Scholar All-American honors in 1991. His Augie squads finished in the top 10 nationally each of his 4 years, 8th in 1988, 3rd in 1989, 2nd in 1990, and as national champions in 1991, while winning the MIAC title each of those years and producing a dual meet record of 51-4, including a perfect 40-0 record his final 3 seasons. A captain during his final year in an Augsburg singlet, Kurt's leadership and team-first mentality were instrumental in leading the Augies to their first team national championship trophy. Following his graduation from Augsburg in 1991 with a dual degree in economics and education, he later earned his master's degree in sports administration. Kurt has spent 21 years teaching social studies in School District 196, most of it spent at Eastview High School in Apple Valley, Minnesota. In addition to his teaching duties, Kurt has served as the head wrestling coach at Eastview for the past 15 years and is also an assistant football and strength and conditioning coach. He served as the president of the Minnesota Wrestling Coaches Association in 2009 and 2010 and currently serves on the Minnesota State High School League Wrestling Advisory Council. Kurt has also been an active participant in the Eastview Athletic Association, where he has served as a youth sports coach for the past 13 years. Kurt and his wife Shelley have 4 children, Hannah, Zachary, Aaron, and Luke, and live in Apple Valley, Minnesota.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kurt Habeck, class of 1991, inductee into the 2012 Augsburg College Athletic Hall of Fame.
Let me just say that it is a real honor to be back at the great campus of Augsburg College. And it's an honor to be inducted into Augsburg College's Athletic Hall of Fame. Pretty good stuff for a guy who once wrestled at 105 pounds, about the same height I am now. While digging through the boxes looking for pictures for that slideshow, I found my 9th grade wrestling picture. Wow. My E.T.-like hands took up half the picture. Curly hair, tights, and white socks above my knees. My wife and kids had a good laugh. I would like to thank the A Club, the selection committee, as well as all the other inductees that are being recognized at tonight's ceremony. It's especially an honor to go along Tim Tuesnot. Both Tuesy and I were seniors on the 91 team, college roommates, and still today enjoy the time that we get to spend together, mostly talking about all the old girlfriends he had. There's a country song that came out about a year ago by Rodney Atkins called Take the Back Road. This summer, my younger daughter and I started this tradition of when we were coming and going from soccer games, that we would open up all the windows and play our iPod, and I would always request that song. The journey to this moment has been filled with many paved, unpaved, straight, twisted, smooth, bumpy, 2- and 4-lane highways and back roads. The roads go all the way back to Winona, where I grew up. I lived 12 miles out of town in the country. You would have to wind through the valley, along the bluffs, up the ridge, and take a 1.5 mile service road to where the blacktop turns into gravel. I put many miles on those roads, biking into town to work out, jogging along the service road to lose weight, or riding the activity bus after sports practices. The road to becoming a college wrestler at Augsburg was not a straight path either. After spending my first year at lacrosse in Winona State, I decided I wanted to wrestle in college. Because my mom worked at St. Mary's College, I had the opportunity to attend St. Thomas, free tuition. I always tell Swentz that I was not recruited by him. I just tagged along with Wondrosh's visit. Funny thing is, after I met Jeff and toured Augsburg, I never even went and visited St. Thomas. Wow, what a great decision that was. I have some family here that I would like to thank for taking time out of their busy schedules to come and support me at tonight's ceremony. My beautiful wife, Shelley, who I met in January of my first year here at Augsburg in '87. My 4 awesome children, Hannah, our firstborn, and now a senior in high school. Zachary, a sophomore, who about 3 hours ago was playing on a football field with me that I was coaching. Aaron, a 6th grader, who was my country music DJ. And Luke, our 3rd grader, who's a ninja wannabe. It's also great to have my mom here, Lucille, my sister Brenda, and her husband Fred, and my sister Pam. My dad, Muggy, who was here in spirit, passed away 6 years ago. I can only hope tonight is a proud moment for him as well. Looking through the program of 1991, I came across an article titled, Augsburg Wrestling Boasts Family Atmosphere. To be a student athlete at Augsburg during my years was very special. My freshman year, there was 19 wrestlers on the team picture. We took 8th place at nationals, and we thought Coach Worley was tough as old leather. My senior year, we had 31 on the team, took 1st place in nationals, and Worl's tough lessons had been learned. Here's just a few thoughts about the Augsburg family from my view back then. The coaching staff, Swentz, Worls, Bobby, Donnie, Beatty, Hegland, all current members of Augsburg's Hall of Fame. The roommates on 42nd and Hiawatha, Kretlow, Peffer, Tuesnot, good friends and all Americans. The Winona boys, Schaefer, Wondrosh, Hoyleman, and my cousin Ricky, high school teammates, coached by Bill Schmidt, who's also an Augsburg Hall of Famer. The parents, Beatty's, Hegland's, Kretlows, Tuesnots, Wondroshes, Peffers, Fornicoyas, Hoylemans, and the Habecks all cheered the Augies on to victory and enjoyed the celebrations afterward. The Augsburg supporters, President Anderson, G, Pastor Wold, G. Roy, Trainer Doug, and Bill and Jill Schmidt, the extended Augsburg family. The article concluded by saying, and they wore white jackets with Augsburg wrestling splashed across their back like a family crest. If you ask people, many might not be able to identify who has a positive impact on their life as a non-family member. I'm lucky enough to have 2 in Bill Schmidt and Jeff Swenson. One of my favorite weeks every year is coming to Augsburg Wrestling Technique Camp. I've been doing it for 21 years. Schmitty was my coach in high school, encouraged me to take a look at Augsburg, wrote me letters of encouragement when I was here, and now gives me support as a teacher and coach. Swentz, his strength is his leadership, his positive attitude, and his intensity that would empower you to become way better than you ever thought you could be. Back in the day, Swentz used to wrestle with us, run, and lift. He was a beast. As we graduated and got older, I think Worley had some of us started calling him Swan Dog. Schmitty didn't agree with that line very much. Schmitty was a captain when Swentz was a younger wrestler here at Augsburg. So one camp year we started calling Swentz Swan Puppy. For those of you that saw me wrestle, I probably was not the flashiest wrestler that Augsburg has ever had. If you read that little card on the video written by Swentz, it had a few interesting comments. Plan A, sprawl. Plan B, only shoot if you're on the edge of the mat. Plan C, sprawl again. Knowing that talent wasn't one of my best qualities, I took a lot of pride in working hard. Winning the morning runs was something I was able to hang on my hat on. It wasn't always easy, though. I had a big target on my back. Guys would hold me down. They would block the doors. Others would go out like a rabbit or even run on the other side of the road so I couldn't see them. I think at one point, Swentz even started to recruit wrestlers that had a cross-country and track background. Joey Hoylman was one of those. My theory has always been, I think someone was paying Joey to let me win because he was a way better runner than I was. Being a captain on the 1991 team was a time that I will always cherish. We're done knocking was the motto. Augsburg family. Expectations were high. We had a 36 winning streak going into the season, and we wanted to be the first team west of the Mississippi to win a national wrestling title. Swentz had us ready for battle. Rock 'em in Rock Island is what it says at the top of the flyer, and rock 'em we did. In the last 20 years since I left Augsburg, I've had the good fortune to work with several fellow Augies. I went to teach and coach at Egan. Bruce Nelson was there. Taught and coached with him for 6 years. My two partners in crime at Eastview, Travis Lee is a fellow Augie wrestler, and Nick Fornicoya was our 118-pounder in 1991. Fornicoya still makes every day interesting, just like he did when he was a freshman here at Augsburg. To conclude, people always asked us, where is Augsburg? For anyone who follows the sport of wrestling, they learn quickly where Augsburg is now. For those that don't know, I now tell them, take the back roads. They've always gotten me where I need to go. It's a great pleasure to be back at Augsburg tonight. It's a pleasure to be part of Augsburg Hall of Fame. Thank you.
Jennifer Coyle Rhodes, class of '97. Jennifer was a 3-year member of the Augsburg softball team after transferring from St. Mary's University and became one of the top offensive infielders in school history. A 3-time All-MIAC and All-Region selection during her career, Rhodes also earned third-team NFCA All-American honors following the 1997 season. During her senior season, Rhodes hit .440 with 14 doubles, 27 RBIs, and a .637 slugging percentage, which all rank among the top 5 in single-season school history. A .384 career hitter, Rhodes currently holds the 4th highest career average at Augsburg and twice led the Augies in single-season batting average. Rhodes' 61 career RBIs currently rank 6th in school history, while her .469 career slugging percentage is currently ranked 7th best in school history. As a member of the 1995 team, Rhodes and the Augies won 20 games and finished 4th in the MIAC conference standings. A mathematics major at Augsburg, Rhodes and her husband Justin have 2 children, Lauren and Mason, and live in Blaine, Minnesota.
First of all, thank you to the Augsburg College family, the A Club, and all the members of the Hall of Fame that I'm now very proud to say that I'm a member of. In preparing for this evening, I was thinking of a lot of old memories in where I've come from and my parents and teachings from my coach. And I keep going back to one thing. Carol, I have finally learned how to shut my mouth and listen. Many, for 3 years, tried to teach me how to do that. And I vowed every year when we would go on our trips to Florida for spring training and that I would leave in good standings and not in trouble. Unfortunately, that's not a mark that I could hit. I could hit the ball, I couldn't hit that mark. But even in my life right now, that is the most valuable lesson that I've learned. My dad tried to instill that in me, and I'm sure he had something to do with that, and Carol and Pam tried to instill that in me, and I think we finally succeeded in that. We all have great memories of being an athlete and a student at Augsburg, and we can all stand up here and go on and on about those things and how we feel a part of a family after leaving Augsburg. And walking down here tonight, I can say that I really feel a part of that family again. And that is something that should never be taken lightly or never be taken for granted. So I'm eternally grateful to Augsburg College for teaching me those lessons, especially for Pam and Carol for hanging in there until I got that lesson. Pam, I would still like to practice with the outfield once, just once. The infielders can catch fly balls, and it would be real nice to practice in the outfield with you. I'd also like to thank my parents who unconditionally have supported me in any endeavor that I have done. I did not start out coming here for college, but I'm sure glad that my road led me here and ended here. And to my sisters for watching those Augsburg softball videos with me over and over and over. I'm pretty sure they can recite all of the parts and still make fun of me for the bad haircuts. I had a couple in that picture as well. And reminding me of it every time that we see those videos. Is very important for me that my young children are here today, even though they will not remember being here. This is something that I hope to see them standing up here at Augsburg doing and thanking myself and their coaches for being there for them. So thank you very much for this evening and congratulations to the other inductees this evening.
Ann Richter, class of '86. One of the best all-around athletes in Augsburg history. Richter shined as an athlete on both the volleyball and softball teams at Augsburg. In volleyball, she was a key member of the Augie squads that finished second in the MIAC 3 times, including the 1982 team that finished with a 29-14 record and advanced to the NCAA tournament. During her 4 years as a member of the Augie volleyball program, Richter's teams recorded an overall record of 113-57. While she was the first volleyball player in school history to be named to the MIAC All-Conference teams 3 consecutive seasons, 1983 to 1985. As an infielder in softball, she was a 3-year letter winner while earning all MIAC honorable mention honors in 1983. Richter currently ranks 6th in school history in career triples with 7 and 9th in career doubles with 24. During her softball career, Richter was a member of the 1983 and 84 MIAC championship teams, while advancing to the NCAA Division III national tournament twice. A psychology major, Richter was named as a 1986 Augsburg Honor Athlete. Following graduation from Augsburg, Richter spent 8 seasons coaching at the collegiate level, including a 4-year stint as the head volleyball and softball coach at the University of South Dakota. She currently works as a lead business systems analyst with the United Parcel Service. The daughter of Chuck and Kay Richter, Ann currently resides in Atlanta, Georgia, where she is still active on the mixed indoor and sand volleyball scene.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ann Richter, class of 1986, inductee into the 2012 Augsburg Athletic Hall of Fame.
see, photos weren't always my best experience here at Augsburg, so thank you for including the action shots. I'd like to thank the A Club and the selection committee for this honor of being inducted into the Augsburg College Hall of Fame. My congratulations to my fellow 2012 inductees. It's a pleasure to share the ceremony with you, your families, and our fellow Augies. Autumn in Minnesota has always held a special place in my heart, and it's a pleasure to be back in Minneapolis tonight, to be home with this week to soak in the colors, celebrations, and memories of the fall. I am proud to be an alumni student-athlete of Augsburg, where I've been able to achieve and be recognized as an honor athlete and an honor student, included in on-conference teams and Dean's List, to graduate with honors, and to be honored with this induction into our Athletic Hall of Fame. 30 years ago this fall, I began my collegiate experience as an Augie, but being a member of a team started years before with my family. I am blessed to be able to celebrate tonight with my parents, Chuck and Kay, and my older brother, my very first teammate, Pat. I'd like to take this moment to thank my family, who raised, guided, cheered, and inspired me to become the daughter, sister, aunt, friend, and athlete that I am today. I am proud to share this honor, and thank you for your love and support. My family has always had many milestones celebrated in the fall and with Augsburg. My parents' 25th anniversary happened in my freshman year, and we celebrated in Duluth. Their 50th anniversary in 2007 brought me back here again to celebrate the 35th anniversary of women's athletics. And what a treat to see my fellow teammates. My teammates are very gracious when I come back to town. As you can see, we try to get together annually. And again, I believe that's one of the highlights, and you've heard it talked about today. It's the Augie family. It's the people that make Augsburg and the experience. I'm one of 5 kids and an aunt to 11, and it's wonderful to be able to celebrate my passion and love of family, fun, and fall sports. I also want to thank and recognize my peers, my siblings, teammates, friends, and fellow Augies, who not only allowed me to express myself through athletics, but attended, encouraged, and pushed me to become a better sister, friend, player, leader, and person. You've contributed to a lifetime of wonderful memories and successes, and continue to inspire me with your accomplishments and the generosity of your love and friendship. I'm being inducted tonight as a result of the hard work, teamwork, and dedication of so many. So I'd like to thank and name some of those few. Mary Beth, Diane, Jackie, Lisa, Shelley, Pam, Duffy, Judy, Goldie, Sue Upsall, Sue Warnes, Monica, Steph, Barb, Sarah, the Carries, Tara, Kelly, Melanie, Gail, and all other Augie volleyball and softball players in the mid-'80s. It's been a treat to remember, to share pictures, to share memories. When John Evans mentioned row house, yeah, I remember row house. I was in Zeta and over there quite a lot. I'd also like to take a moment back to talk about that first fall at Augsburg. We had wrapped up preseason workouts. I was home discussing Augsburg with a few of my friends, and they talked about, how is it going to be? How are you going to do? Are you going to be starting? And I said, you know, it's tough. There's only a few freshmen on the varsity team. Practices have been tough. The team is good. But most importantly, the coach keeps calling me Gail. So I really don't know where I fit in on the team. So fast forward to maybe just a week later when our first game came, and the starting lineup was announced, and it went something like Lisa, Sue, Terry, Cindy, Mary Beth, Ann. And yes, my first glance was to look at Gail to see if Marilyn had the right person, and then to notice Marilyn was looking at me. It was the first of my many starts at Augsburg, but probably the one I most vividly remember, because I never expected to hear my name called. Lastly, I want to thank and recognize my coaches, professors, and educators of Augsburg. I was fortunate to be able to compete in 2 sports and graduate in 4 years, and to play my entire career under the direction of 2 Hall of Fame coaches, Marilyn Pearson and Mary Tim. I was also able to participate with fellow athletes that have been inducted as assistant coaches and former members, and it's an honor to be inducted into the Hall of Fame with them. I was fortunate at Augsburg to have mentors who were passionate educators Ed Saugestead, Mary Tim, and Marilyn taught and mentored me in both the classroom and competitive arenas, teaching the sciences of kinesiology, physiology, and the art of coaching, leading by dedication and that good old Midwestern work ethic. In closing, I know in the 4 years that I played, I never really appreciated all the opportunities I was afforded. But I hope in some small way tonight that I've been able to share my gratitude to those who have made my accomplishments possible. I've been blessed with athletic ability and with the decision to choose to be an Augie. I thank you all for this honor. I'm humbled and most grateful to come back and thank those and be a part of this fall ceremony. Thank you.
Meg Schmidt-Sawyer, class of 2000. Considered one of the top goalies in the history of the Augsburg women's hockey program, Meg was a two-time All-MIAC honoree in 98 and 99 and 99 and 2000, and earned WHCA second-team All-American honors in her senior year. Meg was the starting goalie on two MIAC regular season championship teams, including the 1999-2000 team that reached the championship game of the AWCHA Division III National Tournament. Meg earned all tournament team honors at the 2000 National Tournament and served as team captain during both her junior and senior seasons. In 80 career games, Meg had a 44-29-4 record as a starter, with a 3.01 goals against average and a .907 save percentage. She ranks first in school history in career wins, second in career shutouts with 7, third in career saves with 1,484, and fourth in career save percentage. A Regents and Community Service Scholar, Meg also participated in softball and golf during her 4 years at Augsburg. A business administration major, Meg served in the Student Athlete Mentor Program and on the Fellowship of Christian Athletes leadership team. Meg is currently employed as the Chief Communications Officer for Youth Encounter, a Christian nonprofit organization that specializes in youth events and ministry opportunities. She has served on the Augsburg A Club Executive Board and has helped coordinate the annual Augsburg A Club Golf Tournament. Meg and her husband Jim have one son, Robbie, and reside in Lino Lakes, Minnesota.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Meg Schmidt-Sawyer, class of 2000, inductee into the Augsburg Athletic Hall of Fame.
First of all, I want to thank Augsburg College for this amazing honor. I want to thank Coach Michelle and the hockey team that's here tonight. Thank you for coming. I want to thank the selection committee, my first boss, Don Stoner, who put a terrible picture up there of me working for him. You're going to get it. Jeez. I want to thank Jack Augsburg and President Prebenow. When I think about my experience at Augsburg in my 4 years playing hockey, there's 3 words that come to mind. First, friends and family. First, throughout my hockey career, I have been blessed to be a part of so many firsts. First for women's hockey, first for equity in women's sports. I was, as you know, Augsburg was the first college in Minnesota to offer women's varsity hockey. I was a part of the first ever recruited class. My team was the first MIAC conference champions, and my team played in the first ever Division III national tournament. So many firsts and so many wonderful opportunities that Augsburg gave me. Friends. When I look back at my career at Augsburg, the number one thing that stands out is the friendships that I made and the relationships that were formed. And that is even more apparent in the fact that many of them are here to celebrate with me tonight. When I met my teammates at Augsburg, I knew we'd be together a lot, whether it was on the ice or off the ice, in the locker room, working out, sharing meals or winning games. But I never would have thought that those relationships I had with my teammates in college would result in lifelong friendships. Family. Because of the support of my family, I was able to be successful on and off the ice at Augsburg. I want to thank my sister Amy for her support, the hockey player slash cheerleader who came to my games and screamed, mostly supportive cheers, but if anyone got near me after the whistle, watch out, she was going to give you an earful. I want to thank my mom for her support and love. I remember seeing pictures of my mom watching me play with her eyes squinted or her hand over her face, peeking through her fingers. I always felt like I was going to give her a heart attack. I always remember how before every game, she would call and tell me to keep my stick down. I want to thank my dad for his support as a father, a coach, and a mentor. I remember my dad walking from one end of the ice arena to the other after every period so that he could be closer to the action. If I was having a rough game or if I just gave up a goal, I'd look to my side, I'd see my dad, he'd give me the head nod, he'd tell me, "You're okay," and I knew I could save everything that came my way. I want to thank my wonderful husband, Jim, who wasn't around when I played in college, but has been a huge fan of my post-college hockey career. Yes, I still play. And a wonderful support system for me. He might be a fan of mine, but I'm his #1 fan. I hope my 1-year-old son, Robbie, who wasn't here tonight because it's way past his bedtime, watches this speech someday and asks me questions about my experience at Augsburg. And if he doesn't get a full ride to a D1 hockey program, then I hope he carries on the winning hockey tradition at Augie Tech. I want to thank Augsburg head coach Jill Patilla, who paved the way for women in hockey, both as a player and a coach. I learned so many wonderful things from Jill, but what I will remember the most is the life skills that she taught me. She gave me the platform to learn how to be a leader, to believe in myself, and that academics are just as important, as not more important than hockey. And the #1 thing she taught me and showed me was to be a good person. She lived it. She not only talked the talk, but she walked the walk, and I admire that about her. And finally, I want to thank God. I want to thank him for blessing me and for putting all these amazing people in my life so that I could receive this Hall of Fame honor. Because without my teammates, friends, coaches, and family, none of this would have been possible. Thank you.
Tim Tuzenant, class of '91. One of the top middleweight wrestlers ever at Augsburg, Tim was a key member of Augie teams that were a part of the ascent to national dominance in small college wrestling. After transferring to Augsburg from the United States Naval Academy, Tim was a 2-time national tournament qualifier at 150 pounds and earned All-American honors in 1991 after finishing second nationally. A 2-time MIAC champion, Tim finished his career with a 97-3 overall record, including a 44-3-2 record during his senior year as a member of the Augie's first NCAA national championship team. A NWCA Scholar All-American during the 1991 season, Tim earned Augsburg Honor Athlete honors as a senior. Following his graduation from Augsburg in 1991 with a degree in math education, he taught math and coached football, wrestling, and golf in the Faribault public school system until 2001. Most recently, Tim worked as an investment banker with Wells Fargo before becoming a co-owner of Retirement Consultants Financial Planning Company in Hastings, Minnesota. Tim and his wife Tricia have 4 children, Haley, Jack, Rachel, and Brandon, and live in Hastings, Minnesota.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Tim Tusno, class of 1991, inductee into the 2012 Augsburg Athletic Hall of Fame.
You guys have been here a long time, so I'll keep this short. Thank you. You're not getting off that easy. I'd like to just thank the Hall of Fame Committee and Augsburg Athletics for this great honor. It's just very humbling, and I'd like to congratulate all the other inductees. This all goes back to my parents, and I have to thank them for the way I was raised and the hard work that they instilled in all of us kids growing up. They allowed us the opportunity to participate in many activities. Interesting thing was, Dad always made sure we got rides to and from practice for wrestling, but any other sport, ride your bike. Growing up on a dairy farm taught me what hard work is all about. Cows don't care what day of the week it is. They still need to be fed and milked. All of us kids had to do chores every morning before school and night after practice. I'm very grateful to my parents for teaching me what hard work is about and following through with commitments. My mom was always very supportive of all of us when it came to wrestling and cutting weight, making sure we didn't eat anything, setting up a little sauna in the basement to lose those extra pounds. But she always made cookies, too. I didn't get that. I also need to thank all my siblings. Being the youngest of 6 kids, they have a tendency to kind of pick on me, but made me a little bit tougher. I'd like to recognize a few of the coaches that had a huge impact on my life. Dave Henry, my high school coach, incredible motivator, and has become a great friend. I remember calling Dave when I was wrestling up here at Augsburg. We were preparing for the national tournament and kind of feeling sorry for myself. And I'm like, God, Swenson's just working us so hard. And Dave just said, I'm pretty sure he knows what he's doing. Thanks, Dave, for not letting me feel sorry for myself. Doug Augustine, another coach in Faribault when I was wrestling. Great guy, incredible mentor, and was a great friend to me when I was at the Naval Academy and complaining about all the things that went on there. Doug has been a great influence on my life. My journey to Augsburg was very interesting. I'm looking around trying to figure out where I want to go to school. I look at a poster, and there's all these All-Americans, and I recognize these names of Beatty and Kretlow and Hagelin and that I know, and I'm like, God, they're All-Americans? I beat them. Doug Augustine, another coach in Faribault when I was wrestling. Great guy, incredible mentor, and was a great friend to me when I was at the Naval Academy and complaining about all the things that went on there. Doug has been a great influence on my life. My journey to Augsburg was very interesting. I went to the Naval Academy right out of high school. I'm like, this is great. Don't have to pay for it. Free education, not a bad deal. Didn't quite want to be in the military. So after 2 years, I'm looking around trying to figure out where I want to go to school. I look at a poster, and there's all these All-Americans, and I recognize these names of Beatty and Kretlow and Hagelin and that I know, and I'm like, God, they're All-Americans? I beat them. I think I want to go there. So I set up a visit. I called Swens. I came here. I knew right then this is where I wanted to be. I wanted to become a part of the Faribault or the Augsburg wrestling family. Swenson's a great salesman. It was one of the best decisions that I ever made. To be able to be a part of a rich wrestling tradition at Augsburg is a great honor. I have some of the best friends that I have made during my time here at Augsburg. One little interesting caveat, my dad wasn't very happy, couldn't quite figure out why I would leave the Naval Academy where everything's paid for, you graduate, you're pretty much set, and then to go to a Lutheran college when I'm a Catholic boy. He couldn't quite figure that out. But once wrestling started and he got up here and was able to see what was going on, he got over that. Coach Swenson, Worley, Adams, Wickman, Beatty, some of the best coaches you could ever have. As Kurt said earlier, they're all in the Hall of Fame. It was just an incredible experience. Swenson was a coach that you loved at times, mostly you hated him. He has a way of getting the best out of his athletes. He always gave 110%, and you didn't want to let him down or your teammates down. Worley is one of the most honest people that you'll ever meet. Even if you don't want to hear what he has to say, he's going to tell you. Adams would beat the snot out of you in practice, and Wickman was a young coach who was kind of the liaison between the wrestlers and the Swenson, the other coaches. Did a great job, and Donnie's become one of my best friends. Beatty was always interesting, being able to wrestle with him for 1 year, and then he was a coach the next. He always brought some kind of comedy to the wrestling room for us. And I also just like to recognize all of, like Kurt said, the housemates on 42nd Avenue was a great time. We'd show up together to the morning runs. Kurt would always have a big meal, and the rest of us would watch him eat it. One of the best events ever that I was a part of my life was winning the NCAA National Championship as a team in '91. To be able to share that with all my teammates was incredible. Numerous events throughout my time at Augsburg that will be remembered forever. I remember back in '91 after the national tournament, I met this young lady by the name of Tricia. And we dated for a while, but then she decided I wasn't the right one for her. 17 years later, we got reconnected and married. So I'd like to say thank you, Tricia, for figuring it out 17 years later. Last but not least, I'd like to recognize and thank my children, Hallie, Jack, Rachel, and Brandon. You make our lives very hectic, but also very enjoyable. I'd like to thank my mom for being here tonight and for her husband, Denny. Thank you. And last but not least, Kevin and Janet, my mother and father-in-law, for making the 4-hour trip down for this special night. Thank you very much. Go Augies.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to present to you the 2012 Athletic Hall of Fame inductees. Please stand so that we can all recognize you again.
Well, and I will echo that. Congratulations, you inductees.